Your secrets, if you really look at yourself, you would be speechless. What happened to being doctors and teachers? What happened to being your brother's keeper? Nowadays, kids.
Yo, what it do, y'all? It's your boy, Mr.BandClap. Welcome to another episode of the BandClap TV podcast. Right now, I'm outside of Full Sail University, Orlando, Florida. Man, this is my school, y'all. So, shout out to Melly and Marjorie and Gemstones. You already know the Wealth and Prosperity necklaces will be available later on this year. Also, shout out to my new sponsor, Freedom, and I'll be talking about them a little bit more in a minute. This podcast is going to be geared towards my red pillars, my itmores, my alpha males, the goddesses out there. This is for y'all. So we got a lot to talk about. So let's get the show on the road. Alright, y'all, so we back. BandClap TV podcast. You already know what it is. Hope everybody doing good today on this Friday. About to finish up the work week so you can turn up. I see you. Didn't have the podcast last week because, as I said earlier, man, I've been like hella sick. Done lost my sense of smell. But it's all good now. We good. As I said before, shout out to Freedom, which is sponsoring this YouTube video. Even though I will be still simulcasting on Facebook, I want everybody to like and subscribe my YouTube channel, which is BandClap TV as well. I know y'all heard about this whole thing about YouTube is changing their monetization policies in 2018. So right now I got 100 subscribers, trying to get that 1K by February the 20th. I know I can do it. So if y'all be so kind to give a brother a subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. And for all of y'all who's wondering how did I get my sponsorship and what all I had to do to get it, I'll be making a separate video about that. I mean, it's super easy. It's one of them things where I wish I would have known about it a lot sooner, and I would have been able to take advantage of that opportunity in a more serious way. Alright, so getting into the topic. So scrolling through my YouTube, I've been running across a lot of male YouTubers talking about the importance of being a man, acting in your true masculine self. And some people call that red pill, some people call that itmore, some people call it being an alpha male. Me, I don't really have a special name for it. I just look at it as being a man. And when it comes to that, I definitely agree with a lot of their points, because being a black man myself, I can definitely attest to the fact that the effeminization of the black man is real and it's running rampant, especially now. And for the next generation of boys that's being born now, they really need this information. Which kind of leads me to what I want to talk about, because just like in that video, The Making of a Simp by Ram313, check him out as well. He talked about how men are quote unquote indoctrinated with certain expectations and certain ideologies at an early age, all the way down to the religion, the stuff that they learn in school, what's going on in the media. Yeah, I'm going there tonight. So with this video, I'm gonna explain in a more spiritual approach, since I haven't heard none of them talk about it in that level. And in a way, I don't blame them for not being able to talk about it in that level, because with most people, the only spirituality thing that they really know is Christianity. And it's not about to be a Jesus bashing video either. But I mean, come on, y'all, let's be real. It's a reason why you don't see a lot of young black men that's striving to be that alpha male, alpha masculinity man going to church like that. And personally, I feel like it's because, I mean, Jesus ain't relatable like that. I mean, he was a sinless man, so that's already something that we'll never be able to do. Strike two, he ain't have no hoes. I mean, he ain't have no kids or nothing like that. That's strike two. I'm just being real, y'all. Can I be real tonight? And number three, last but not least, they done did the Michael Jackson on them and turned them from black to white. That was like the last straw. So we like, fuck this. But on the contrary, our ancient African spirituality is full of alpha males, and it's full of different stories. The importance of not only finding your purpose, but it also shows you the spoils of how things can be if you stay on that path. So without further ado, about to get into this story. So in Youriba, there's this man named Shango. Now, just a brief synopsis of this dude, because I'm not about to just go into a whole spiel about that. You can look that up yourself. But Shango would be what you consider as a red pill alpha male. He's known as the god of thunder and lightning. He's also known to spit fire. And if you ever seen Thor and you wonder where the Greeks got that from, well, Shango was the OG. Now, before I continue with this story, I'm just going to give y'all a brief disclaimer, and that is the source that I'm getting this information from is going to be in the description below. And you know I got to translate a lot of this stuff into 2018, so don't be in the comment section talking about, oh, it didn't really go like this and all of that, because I know, nigga. Now, as I said before, Shango had many talents, and he was a master at drumming, dancing. He was real skilled at a lot of things, and he spent time to not only study and hone his skills, but he was a master at them. So not only was he a popular guy to the community, he was also popular amongst the women. Pretty much any woman that he wanted, he could have her. All he had to do was spit that hot fire, and them panties would go down. Now, Shango, he had a lot of eyes on him, and one being this other goddess named Oya, which at the time was his brother Ogun's wife. Now, in Santeria, Oya is known to be the goddess of change, and a lot of her powers dealt with storms, hurricanes, tornadoes. Pretty much, she's the embodiment of Storm, where they got the character Storm from in Marvel. That's Oya all day. Now, all the while, Oya always had a thing for Shango. I'm not gonna say that Ogun was a simp. Y'all can be the judge of that. But long story short, they ended up fucking. And pretty much picking back off the video that Ron Wills did about imprint, yeah, she was imprinted hard, to the point where she started to get jealous of Shango's way with women. So what did any woman who has been imprinted by a man would do? She tried to change Shango. Tried to make him settle down, trying to scare him, locking him up in his own house. Like, I don't know how that's possible, but with all this being said, Shango knew who he was and he knew his value. So nothing that Oya tried to do stopped him from being with women, and she hated that. But as time went on, it got to the point where it was time for Shango to enter a new chapter in his life. You know, he was about to be a king, and so it was time for him to settle down and get a queen. So his dad hit him up, you know, Obatala, and his dad was like, all right, Shango, so it's about to be time for you to take the throne. So it's time for you to settle down and stop fucking all these hoes and get you a queen. So here's where Shango ended up marrying his first wife, Obanani. Now, I don't got my notes in front of me right now, so if I'm missing anything, just let me know in the comment section. But Obanani was described as this beautiful chocolate sister. She was smart. She was a seductress, which Obatala knew would tame him in a way because she can do all the things that he liked. And also, she was a master sorcerer. So, she was badass. And she was the perfect woman at the time for Shango to settle down with and for him to be the king that Obatala wanted him to be. Now, even though she was a goddess, there were still some red flags about Obanani. The main thing being is she was very insecure about her appearance. Even though she was hella sexy, she was insecure about herself. One of the main things that she was insecure about was her ears. So that's why when you read the Youriba text about Obanani, it always talks about how Obanani had this big scarf that she would put around her head, hiding her ears. And that's something that everybody knew about. Also, the second red flag is she was very naive. Now, Obanani and Oya were sisters, so you can imagine how pissed off Oya was when she found out that her dream guy, Shango, was about to get married to her sister. Also, she knew that her sister was hella powerful. And this is when Oya started to plot on how she can break up Shango and Oba's marriage so she can get Shango for herself. Even though shit didn't really work out between them two like that. She was just jealous and envious of her sister for being able to make him settle down, and she couldn't. So she knew that Oba was powerful as hell. So she knew that she couldn't take her head on. So what she did was instead used her insecurities against her. Don't that sound familiar? Now, she also knows that her other sister, Oshun, the one that I'm going to talk about in a minute, saw through her bullshit. She saw how Oya would go around her sister, all smiling in her face. Hey, what's going on? How y'all doing? How's your husband doing? All of this other stuff. While behind closed doors, she plotting on how she can get her husband. And Oshun, being off in the cut, she seen this and she tried to warn Oba. She was like, Oba, I know you think everything is just so cool with you and Oya, but I don't think you should be hanging around her like that, because at the end of the day, you took her man, and that ain't something that a female is just gonna get over like that. And I don't really trust her, and you need to watch out. But, you know, naive little Oba was like, nah, it's cool. She cool. She my sister. I love her. She's always been there for me. So that'll never happen. Oya, I guess she was off in a cut. She heard this. She like, damn. So in order for me to put this plan to work, I'm gonna have to get her alone without Oshun being there. So that's exactly what she did. She waited until Oba was alone, and she went up to her and was like, hey, so how is you and your husband doing? Oba was like, yeah, we cool, we good. What's up? Now, in Yoruba, they talk about how Oya had this seductive, snake-like hissing type of voice, especially when she was trying to be manipulative. So she leaned up to her, whispered in her ear, was like, so, do you think he love you? And Oba was like, I don't see why not. I mean, we married. She was like, do you really think he love you? I mean, really think he love you? out of all these women that he can get, do you really think that he's gonna just settle down like that just because his dad told him to? I mean, come on now. Now, this is where naive, insecure Oba, she started thinking. She was like, well, I mean, I guess you kind of got a point there. Oya was like, shoot, I thought he loved me too when we was together, but I could never keep him at home. He was always out there for the hoes. Oba was like, do you think he would cheat on me like that? And Oya was like, well, he did it with me, but I mean, you're this master sorcerer, sister, so if you really want to keep your man, I would suggest that you put some voodoo on his ass. That'll keep him. And Oba was like, what do you mean put some voodoo on his ass? Oya was like, well, all you gotta do is just cut off your ear, chop it up, and put it in Shango's favorite dish. And it's like a binding spell, and he'll never leave you. And Oba was like, for real? You know what? I'm gonna try that. So naive, insecure Oba Nani actually went out and did the shit. Yes, you heard me right. This chick cut off her ear, chopped it up, put it in Shango's favorite dish, thinking it's gonna keep that nigga. Like, I mean, don't this sound like some Love and Hip Hop? Alright, so meanwhile, Shango was actually being a good husband. Like, he cut off all his hoes, he cut off everybody, and he was strictly with Oba Nani. And Oya knew this, but that was her plan. She wanted that, not her sister. So the first half of her plan went smoothly. So now it was time for the second half. So one thing that I forgot to point out about Shango and Oya's relationship, Oya was a rider. Like, Oya was the hurricane, Shango was the thunder. So when it was time to go out and handle business, they was like the perfect couple. But other than that, they wasn't really compatible like that. So Oya invited Shango over, started seducing him, but Shango wouldn't budge. Oya was like, I know you missed this. Shango was like, yeah, but I got a wife at home, so we're not gonna be doing that no more because I'm gonna be faithful to my wife, Oba Nani. And Oya was like, do you think she love you? Shango was like, hell yeah, I know she love me. Then she started talking in that slick voice again. She was like, do you really think she love you? Do you think she's honest with you? Shango was like, shoot, I mean, she never lied to me as of yet. So yeah, I mean, I think she honest with me. Then Oya said, so why does Oba Nani wear that scarf again? And Shango was like, man, you know why Oba wear that scarf. She don't like her ears like that, so she covers them up with that scarf. Now, mind you, Shango has never seen Oba without her scarf on. So he really don't know what's under that scarf. He just believed Oba when she told him that. So Oya was like, you know, just out of curiosity, just tell her to take the scarf off one day, and we'll see if she's as honest with you as you thought she was. And Shango was like, alright, whatever, I just want this dick. So Shango came home. Oba had his favorite dish with her chopped up ear in it. Shango was like, you know, I had this conversation with your sister Oya not too long ago. Man, I think she just crazy. She just mad because we're together and all of that. Now, Oba, knowing she done just got played, is like froze right now. She like, oh shit, What have I done? So Shango was like, man, she over here telling me that you being dishonest with me, talking about I shouldn't trust you because of your ears. Ain't that absurd? Oba was like, oh damn. Shango was like, you know what? Let's go ahead and just nip this in the bud and get this over with right now. Go ahead and take your scarf off. Oba was like, I mean, you already know why I wear it, so I mean, what's the deal? Shango was like, take off the scarf. Oba hesitated again. Now Shango started doubting her honesty for real now. Like, take the damn scarf off. Oba took off the scarf, noticed that she didn't have her ear. He was like, where your ear at? She was like, it's in that soup you just ate. Oya told me the only way that I can keep you is that I do some voodoo on you. Now this made Shango hella mad. Like, dude stormed out. He was like, you know what, fuck this marriage. I should have never listened to my dad talking about I need to settle down and get married. Fuck all this. All y'all women the same. Y'all can't be trusted. So he ended up kicking her out. And he told his dad that, yeah, I'll still claim Oba as my wife for the sake of the kingdom, but I'm not really married to her. And in fact, I'm no longer going to be sexually held to one woman. I'm for everybody now. So hearing this, Obatala, he was pissed off. Oya waited for a little while. She ended up breaking up with Ogun. She came back around with her slick self, and Shango and Oya ended up getting married. But things never worked out the way Oya wanted them to work out. I mean, she tried to give them 9 kids. None of the kids survived. And the thing that she hated the most was Shango was never faithful to her. Like, she envied that he was with Obanani. So in this day and age, Shango would be called a player or a dog. So long story short, they ended up breaking off, whatever. Shango ended up being back on the market, and this is where Oshun comes into the picture as Shango's third wife. Now, just a little background of Oshun. She was the youngest out of the 3 sisters. She's also the goddess of fertility, the goddess of love, the goddess of seduction. In other words, she was young, fine, hella sexy, and the way Beyonce dressed in her Lemonade album was a definite depiction of how Oshun would look, because she always wore yellow all the time. Now, out of all the 3 sisters, Oshun and Shango had the most chemistry together. I mean, she was almost what you would consider as his soulmate. I mean, Shango liked playing the drums, Oshun liked dancing. She hung around Oba and Oya so much that she just learned everything about him and just perfected all of that. So she was like the perfect wife for Shango. Like, she pretty much completed him to the point where they ended up having twins together named the Ibeji twins, the Gemini twins, but in Youriba, which are one of the most powerful Orishas in the whole diaspora by those 2. But sadly, even though they had all of that chemistry together, their marriage didn't really last too long either. Not because she did anything wrong per se, but Shango at that time was only half a man. And when I mean half a man, I mean, yeah, he married her and he did have love for her, but at that stage in his life, her trying to get a commitment out of him was pointless because he'd already been burned twice. So the type of man that Oshun thought that she maybe would have was long gone. Now, I'm just going to end the story here because if you get into Youriba and Santeria, you understand that it's a lot of stuff that I left out. Some of the stuff I'm going to talk about in future videos if y'all like this one. So I know y'all thinking, man, this dude told this long ass story, but how does this affect me, or how does this explain my situation in 2018? Well, I'm about to explain it to you in this brief summary. Unless you were up on game earlier in your life, most men don't start to really get on that journey walking in your purpose until a little bit later on in life. So most men start off with a Obanani, which is, she's down for you, she's that perfect girlfriend, you would think, all that you could really ask for in a woman. But as you grow into your purpose, you run into a lot of oyas. And these type of women, you don't even really have to approach them. They'll come and approach you. But just like Oya, these women tend to be very demanding, very manipulative. They want to run you. They want to constantly test you. They want to constantly try to change you. And if you don't fold, they end up getting reckless. And just like Shango, if your wife or your girlfriend is insecure in any way, and these other chicks can get into her ear, even if you are faithful, she's going to end up acting brand new, acting different towards you. And as a man that's walking in your purpose, we don't take that type of drama with women, so we bounce. And when it comes to most men, when it comes to marriage and things like that, it only takes one fuck up to mess up everybody. Because as a lot of other people pointed out, black men aren't really getting married like that no more. So when they do decide to go ahead and get married and something like that happens, it's pretty much over. And even if in the future they find an Oshun, due to his experience, she'll only be getting half the man, if that. So to all the ladies out there, all the Obananis out there, don't think you gonna fuck over these dudes when they broke and bummy, and then think you gonna reap the benefits of their success once they get that money. Because like Oya, you can't predict what the aftermath of that hurricane is gonna be. So that was my story, y'all. And like I said, if y'all like this, I'll do more life lesson type stories talking about the Orishas and other ancient African spiritualities that I stumble upon in my quest for knowledge. So, alright y'all, this has been another episode of BandClap TV. Make sure you like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, BandClap TV, Instagram, BandClap TV. Follow me on Snapchat, Mr.BandClap. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.